Hey beautiful, how you doing tonight? Welcome back to Lucky After Dark. Woohoo! Hey. All right, anyway, so the top 5 reasons why gay guys are abused in prison, actually. And I'm going to start from least to greatest. But first, before I forget, if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure you hit subscribe. I love these new subscribers and I want to make a real community. All these prison channels, they spreading lies about us. We need a gay community, telling the truth about what's going on up in prison. And then maybe they'll do lockdown series and stuff like that to actually include more real stories, some real like reality shows about like what's going on with prison as it relates to the gay culture. And especially because it's such a big part of prison, like society, the prison environment. It really is. It's just as big of a part as the gang stuff. Like the gangs and the gays are really what drive the prison environment, So we need more people, you know what I'm saying? But I love all of you guys that have already subscribed. So yeah, so the top 5 reasons why gay guys, or how gay guys get abused, or not even how, but why. Number one is because of disrespect. Like, even though I got lucky, and it's a blessing, but also it's like it was active work. Like, I just wasn't going to settle for any type of guy, regardless of how much people were like pushing themselves onto me. I just have like a standard, I suppose you could say, or a tolerance. That's really what it is. It's like a tolerance that I just can't, mesh with certain types of personalities, especially in that type of way. It's like it's a very vulnerable and intimate connection, But regardless, a lot of gay guys, I don't even know if it's settling. I think it's more so just it happens. Like, a lot of gay people in there just sort of go with the flow of who's coming at them. They're just trying to survive. They conform to the fact that, the more womanly they are, the more that they will thrive in this environment. So they embrace it and they adjust to it, and it just becomes normal and natural to them. Meanwhile, you have a lot of guys, women already know what I'm talking about. You have a lot of guys that do not even respect women. Like, they just don't have any respect for women. Like, a lot of guys, especially, no offense, these guys, these criminal guys, like, a lot of them, they used to dealing with, God only knows, just situations where they just don't have no respect. And then now you have someone who's not even a real woman, and they view this person as like a dictator. That's it. Like, not even, the little respect that they might even have for a woman, they're not even giving them that, because it's like, you're not a woman, you're like a submissive man, you're like an alien man that just likes to take dick and suck dick. Like, that's really how they look at it in their mind. So it's like, whether they say this outright to you, it certainly is like in their actions, in their behavior. And that's what leads to abuse, is the, just disrespect. They just don't really see you as an equal anyway, or anything that deserves any kind of respect. So they just be slapping you, like talking to you crazy. Like, for real, I'm serious. I'm not saying this like in an exaggeration, or like, just making shit up. Like, they slap the shit out of, their queens or whatever, whoever they rocking with or something like that. They talk to them crazy. They just, pop them upside the head or something like that, like threaten them, talk to them in any old kind of way. It really becomes abusive. The second reason is uh jealousy. Some guys, they are envious of the fact that it's a man, but they're getting the privileges of a woman. So some guys, they have trouble with that, because it's like, okay, I'm a guy and this person's a guy, but yet I have to hustle and hustle and work my ass off and negotiate with people, and come up with deals, and I have to pay or something like that in order to get the things that I need, in order to get the things that I want. Like, I don't get anything for free. I don't get no handouts or something like that. Like, I actually have to come up with a deal or a hustle or something and it's work. Some guys, they constantly are always working, but meanwhile a queen, they don't have to work for nothing in prison, for real. Even if they do have a hustle, they don't need it. It's just an extra way to really make more connections with men, or a way to really, like, just have something extra, but they don't need it. The true, normal, and number one way that gay guys survive and thrive in prison is purely through the relationships that they have with the guys. Like, and that can make some guys jealous. It does make a lot of guys jealous, for real, because also when you tie it in with the disrespect thing, then there you have it. That now it's like somebody that you already have little to no respect for, and you see that they have it easier than you. It would piss you off, and that can lead to abuse. The third way is loyalty. I have mentioned this plenty of times. The gay people in prison are just not loyal. And I mean it in so many more ways than physically. Like, loose and just hopping on this person and, like head bobbing on that person. It also comes in the form of your bond. Like, gay guys, they'll be the first one to tell secrets to somebody, like, and that can lead to a lot of trouble. Oh my gosh, I've really seen some people stabbed up in there behind some shit like that. Like, guys are secretive. Guys are a lot. They always talk about how secretive women are. Men are way more secretive than women, and it's purely because they might be equally as secretive, but the small difference that makes a huge difference is the gossiping part. Women like to talk. Women love to talk, and I love it too, and I'm glad that they love to talk. Like, it's healthy. That's why women live longer. But, women, they share what's going on with this. Somebody tells them a secret, maybe some secrets they'll keep for themselves, and then other secrets they'll just, tell it to this person. Like, or just talk shit about it or whatever, but it comes out. And then also sometimes people, they just can't hold it in, and then they talk. Guys take things to the grave. Guys just don't share what's half the stuff that I feel like is on their mind or in their heart. They don't even know how to, like identify it or connect with it. And then even if they did or not, they certainly don't know how to express it or tell it. And then when they do, getting back to the point, when they actually come across a queen that reminds them of a woman and gives them the same comfort and security as a woman, and they now are being intimate with this woman, for a queen it's no big deal, because you literally flip a coin and have your pick of any person. But for the guy, it's a very big deal. Like, this is something that they may not have experienced since they were out, 8 years ago or whatever, or certainly not in the last, 5 to 3 years or something. And that's on the lighter side, like on the, easier side. Like, there's somebody I had mentioned on this channel where I said, like, the guy had flashed his butt to me. He had not done something that was such a big deal to him, because for me it was like, okay, just another guy, flashing himself at me. It just was unique, the fact that it was his butt instead of his dick. But for me, it still was no, like, nothing out of the ordinary. But for him, it was such a big deal because he had, even though he was in the scene or whatever, in the game is actually what they call it in prison, the game, he had not been with another, like, queen, feminine person since the tranny he was dating. I was trying to remember the year, but I can't remember the year. All I know is that it was 8 years ago. The last time he had, like, been actively, it had been so long that people had actually forgot that he was, like, in the game. But he just was picky, and there was nobody that he, like, liked or anything like that. And then he saw me, and he was trying to get me away from Cam because I just had been with somebody else. So he figured that I guess I wasn't that serious about Cam. But I became very serious about Cam very quickly. And anyway, it was 8 years. You know what I'm saying? So the loyalty aspect, you have guys that they finally click with somebody, and then they share things, personal things with this queen, and the queen goes and tells somebody else, and half the time it ain't even another queen. That's the part that actually will be real bad about it. They'll actually tell another guy, because I've mentioned queens, they usually are dealing with a couple of different guys at a time. So it's like this guy would tell them something, and then they find it either comical or even sweet sometimes, and they go and then share it with this guy. These guys, just like the queens compete with each other, so do the guys. Or the guys, they joke each other, you know. And also guys in there, they don't get very like like personal with each other. So to then hear something sensitive about this macho guy, everybody's trying to be macho, like, you know, now they make fun of it or something, and that can get the queen like fucked up, you know. And it does get queens fucked up, especially if it's somebody who's like really respected or thought of a certain way, a tough way, or God forbid a gang member or something like that. Like it can really turn out bad. So loyalty is definitely a big one. The fourth way that gay guys are abused is through the possession, through the possessiveness. Men in prison are so possessive over the gay guys, and it comes from what I just shared with you, the fact that the gay guys aren't loyal, or that they see and they know that other guys are chasing them all the time or pursuing them all the time or something. So sometimes that possession, when it's not respected, it can lead to violence. And oftentimes it does lead to violence, which is why when I found my little gay ass tied up with Boss, the prison, you know, ex booty bandit, ex blood gang member, you know, scary dude who now knows like every CO on the compound and has all the inmates afraid of him. Like, I made sure to take it very seriously, the fact that he is like, you know, going out of his way to make sure I have everything and anything, and he'd do anything for me. And then when I was even trying to get other things done, he would, you know, find a way to put a stop to it. He got charges taken away from me and stuff. Like, I took all of that very seriously, because I'm like, wow, this is somebody who really has strong feelings towards me. And sometimes, like, the fatal attractions, you know, the crimes of passion, like, sometimes those things can take a deadly turn. And I'm dealing with people where they've already crossed the line. They've already committed crimes, you know, so I'm not tempting this or testing this or playing around with this. You know, I took it very seriously. And I heard stories, many stories about queens that ended up with guys that were stabbing them and used to beat them up all the time. I met a lot of queens that had teeth missing, scars. A lot of queens have scars. Like, they'll have a gash here, a gash there, you know, gashes on their arms or something like that. One queen even had like her eye was missing. I don't know if it was missing because she always hid it. I think it was her eye socket was busted, actually. Her eye was still there. Her eye socket was busted. That's what it was. I was trying to remember, but she did a good job always trying to like hide it or cover it up, or, you know, have the hat hanging low in some way or something. But yeah, I remember her eye socket was busted. Like, I didn't want none of that stuff. Like, I used to think about that. It used to keep me up at night. Like, I would be thinking to myself, like, how can I make sure that I come home looking this at least relatively the same way as I did when I got in here? Like, I'm not trying to come out and I got teeth that I left behind, or scars that now have, you know, just permanently made a mark on, you know, as part of my body. Like, yeah, that is, it's the possessiveness. Whew. And it is unstoppable. It's uncontrollable. There is nothing that a gay person can do. Nothing. Trust me, I tried. There is nothing that a gay person can do to prevent it, to stop it, to control it, to tame it. Nothing. Them guys, it's just purely because of the situation. These guys, they've been locked up for so long. They go so long, you know what I mean, like, without feeling these emotions, these feelings, without having certain pleasures. And it's like, it just sends them over the edge. It just makes them go crazy. And then you add in the fact that it's like, then they feel threatened because they know that all these other guys are trying to take what they now have for the first time in years. Like, they become extremely possessive. I am telling you. I've been telling you. I've been trying to tell you. But anyway, the main reason leading up to all of this, though, I would say the possessiveness is definitely, it's really kind of like a combination of all these things, but the possessiveness is definitely a top reason. But the main reason I would say why, in my opinion, why queens end up abused so much is seriously because them bitches are such hoes. They are sluts, honey. Like, they get with everybody and anybody. Like, as long as they can come up from this person in some sort of way, they see no reason in not, you know, doing the deed. And then also, plus, I think some of them, it's like their spirit just gets broken. Mine almost got broken, I swear. Mine almost got broken several times. There, a couple of times it did. If you watched my prison diary videos that I used to do, you know that there was a couple times that I had sex with people that I really didn't want to. But it's like, you get weak. You get weak because that's what people come at you for every day. Every day. And you're trapped here. You can't avoid it or get away from it. It's just every day. And also, what do? Either you literally don't speak to anybody, which is isolating and lonely, and that's kind of what I ended up doing. But even then, it's not like people, just because you're not speaking to them, like, they're just going to leave you alone. No, they still will try to talk to you. They're still going to try to speak to you. But, so it's either that or you just forever always just try to reject people. And then there's problems even with rejecting people. People don't just take rejection and just keep it moving, like, especially when it's a gay guy that's rejecting you. Like, people retaliate, they do terrible things, like, for real. Then they start to treat you terrible. They might get their homeboys start treating you terrible and stuff. I can see why. I really honestly never judged, and I never will judge a gay person. I mean, just period. People's lifestyle is people's lifestyle, but especially in there, I will never judge a gay person that is loose and hoish, because I get it. 100%, 100%. I get it. Like, it's insane in there, but nevertheless, you'll end up in a relationship inevitably, or you will end up with somebody who feels like they are in a relationship with you inevitably. And while you are doing all what you still do, and the guys that you do it with expect nothing to change, that can drive and does drive the men crazy. A man, whoever, it drives them crazy, obviously, because who wants to be sharing somebody with somebody else? Nobody. And especially in there, because everybody's scared of catching something. And it is easy. It is too easy. That's going to be another video I'm going to make one of these days, telling y'all how easy it is to catch something up in prison. That was another reason one, why I wasn't, like, slutty. And then two, another reason why I couldn't believe that so many people were. Because I was thinking, like, gosh, how little do you value yourself? Like, don't you have a release date? Like, oh my gosh, can you not see past the day? You know what I'm saying? Like, these people are not worth what you're getting from them. Like, the consequences, they're not worth the consequences that you end up having. Sicknesses, a loss of teeth and scars, literal physical scars, not to mention the emotional scars of God only knows who you done slept with and sucked off, that smelled of whatever and looked of whatever. Like, I mean, it is not worth it. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it, but I can understand why. And then also, I was blessed. I had my mom that was sending me money, so I was a little bit more fortunate than other people. But even still, I mean, there's ways to, figure it out in prison. Like, it's just a little bit tougher, but still. But anyway, that is all my reasons of why gay guys end up being abused in prison. Just to reiterate, the disrespect, the disrespect, jealousy, loyalty, men are possessive, and being sluts. Hands down, being sluts. So that is all I got for you guys today. Don't forget to subscribe, or tonight. I hope you had a wonderful day. I hope tomorrow is just great for you. I hope you're staying strong with everything that's going on, and you're being as safe as you possibly can, and thanks for tuning in tonight. Hopefully I was able to distract your mind for a little bit and just have some fun. And to hear more of my private personal experiences in prison, click the link below. I got some journal entries. I haven't been working on my book lately, but I need to get back to work. I'm thinking about tonight maybe working on it because I feel kind of energized. But I do need to get some work done. So anyway, but I love you guys, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.